Hello, Sunday mowing day. And explain a little bit why I've got 4 different mowers, which is a bit extravagant, but let's show you the different ones I've got and explain what they all do. So, topper, flail mower, finishing mower, and another one later. Right, all of them run off the PTO, power takeoff, on the tractor, my trusty EK261. There's a shaft, PTO shaft, that goes onto the back of the tractor. Never connect that up with the tractor running and take your arm off. Right, and I have a topper, flail, and finishing mower. They all do something slightly different. Now, I didn't really know this when I first got into looking after the land. So very quickly, topper runs on the ground into like a sledge, and it has one big rotating blade. Think of it like a scythe. That will get through anything up to a couple of inches thick trees or shrubs. They call it a brush hog in America, but basically it's the same thing. And it's just slightly wider than the width of the tyres, and it can go through just about anything. But it cuts it at the base, and then whatever it cuts falls down onto the ground. Now that's okay with a few things, but if you want to maintain the grass, whatever cuts falls on top of the grass and kills everything underneath. So not great. You then have a finishing mower. This has 3 contra-rotating blades underneath it, so as it cuts grass, this will not cut through anything more than grass, really. But as it cuts it, it spins it like a blender and throws it up in the air and cuts it into much finer finish, and then it drops down and mulches, and basically the cut grass feeds the grass. This also runs on wheels, so that adjusts the height, so that's how you get a finer cut. You can also see that it goes very close to the edges, so this is just about the width of the tractor, so you can run the blade goes almost about the middle of that axle, really very close to the edge, so you can run along a fence line and it'll cut pretty close within a few inches of the fence line, which gives a nice finish. Then different technology, flail mower. This is heavy. That I think is about 250 kilos. That's a bugger to hook up on the tractor. So if you're not incredibly strong, or you haven't got 2 people, then that's hard work getting on the tractor. It's a fight. It takes me 20 minutes to get it on the tractor. A lot of bashing around with trying to get the pins to line up and lift it and all sorts. So very heavy. This one is easier to hook up. It works with basically a shaft. PTO drives the top shaft, then a reduction gearbox, then a shaft across the middle, and inside it's got what they call hammers, flails, and you can get different shaped ones, Y shape or T shape, and they'll hit the ground and take anything that it strikes up into the housing, spin it round and mulch it, similar to the flail mower, but it will handle much heavier stuff. And this is great when you've got uneven ground, because it's also got a roller at the back. You can't quite see that, but it sits on the roller, and the sledge slides at the side, so you drag it behind you. Very heavy, 250 kilos this one, so I think this is probably the heaviest, so not great pulling it uphill, but goes okay downhill. Now, what does the finish look like? Well, I've just flailed this area, and it's very dusty, because what I've been doing is taking out molehills and bumps. The topper sits on top of the ground and rarely will strike the ground particularly well, because the blade gets lifted up. The flails just bash the ground into submission, so it takes out any bumps and imperfections and gets the ground much more level. I've just done this area, this little sort of 100 square meters, few hundred square meters up here, and just bashed everything down. And this had lots of rabbit hills and bumps in there and ruts, and it's cleared them all. So it will take a bit of time for the land to get settled, but it saves you regrading the land. It's not really what it's for. It's not a plough, but it's very good at getting the bumps out. Now, how that compares to, say, a topper is this bit down here. As you can see on this side of the fence line, I've run the topper down here. You'll see there's brambles and sticks and shrubs, and the topper will go through that. It'll go through it waist high. So the brambles were that high, so about 3-4 foot. If I can drive the tractor over it, the topper will take all of it out. And because the weight is all on the ground, it's very low down and quite controllable. So take it slow. With all of these things, the slower you do it and the faster the PTO is spinning near a 540 RPM, the better it will get the finish. So this is just some scrub land to keep the brambles away from the fence rails, because the brambles will eat the rails and then I have to replace those ones. Now, finishing mower. As you'll see here, this bit is done by the finishing mower, just this bit here, and you'll see that gets a very nice finish. So it's great to go over the edges with the finishing mower, and it will get quite close to the fence line here. As you can see, the bottom of the fence line, the finishing mower will get to there. So topper is generally used the start of the season to take everything down, and once a year to keep the brambles at bay away from the hedge line. So the topper's very good. And then finishing mower to do all the edges at the start of the season. Now I have one other mower. And that other mower does the rest of the stuff. I'm going to show you where it is. Scenic bench.